Hey, fellowship. Just wanted to share with you a verse. It's actually a verse that we looked at last Sunday when we were considering our study of 2 Corinthians. In chapter 4, in verse 16, the Apostle Paul says, I don't lose heart. I don't get discouraged. Now, Paul had just been telling us about how he had a really hard life. He had had a lot of difficult things happen to him. But despite all that, he didn't lose heart. Why was that? Well, this is the verse I wanted us to think about. It's in chapter 4, verse 17, 2 Corinthians 4:17. Paul said, I don't lose heart because the momentary light afflictions of this life are producing in us an eternal weight of glory. Did you catch that? The hard times of this life, the difficulties, the trials, the tests, the pain, the suffering, it is producing in us an eternal weight of glory. You see, God uses these hard times that we go through to help us become more like Jesus Christ, to mature us, to season us in our walk with Jesus Christ. And did you notice the comparison that Paul was making when he said it's a momentary light affliction? He wasn't minimalizing what we go through. He wasn't blowing it off or acting like it's nothing. No, he knew they were difficult trials. He knew it was hard because he'd been through some himself. But basically what he was saying is, compared to eternity, what we go through now, it's just momentary. It's light affliction in comparison to that eternal weight of glory. You know, these 9 months that we've been going through this crisis, maybe that 5 years that you've been going through this difficulty, maybe you've got something that's going to be with you till the grave. In comparison with eternity, that's a momentary light affliction, according to the Apostle Paul. And better yet, it's producing in us an eternal weight of glory. God is using those hard times, those troubles, to make us more like Jesus Christ. That's good news. You know, it's interesting. Paul brings all of this up because he wants us to be prepared for eternity. In fact, just a few verses later, in chapter 5, verse 10, Paul said, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. You see, every person who has trusted Jesus Christ as personal Savior is going to appear before the judgment seat of Christ, not to determine whether they get to go to heaven or whether they have to go to hell. No, that's already been determined. This isn't the great white throne judgment. This is the judgment seat of Christ. Whereas chapter 5, verse 10 says, we're going to appear before the judgment seat of Christ so that Christ might recompense us for the good that we have done with our life, whether good or evil. It's like Christ wants to bring us together and reward us for what he has done. What would that be like? You know, this Sunday, I'm going to be doing a dramatic presentation of what it would be like to stand before the judgment seat of Christ. It's a great story. It's a powerful message. And I want to encourage you to plan on coming. We're in person on Sunday morning at 10:45. And if you need to be online, we're online, live streaming. It starts at 10:45, but you can actually catch it anytime after that. What would it be like to stand before Jesus Christ and give an accounting for our life? That's what we're going to be presenting on Sunday morning. Hey, I also want to remind you of Sunday night. We have set aside Sunday night for a time of worship and a time of prayer for our nation. It's 2 days before the election. And so we're going to gather together as a family of believers, and anyone and everyone is welcome to come. We're going to spend a little bit of time worshiping. I've invited my son George to come back from Fort Worth. He's a worship leader there, and he's going to be leading us in a time of worship. But mostly we're going to be spending time praying for our nation. I hope you'll come. If you are available at all, I would encourage you to come and pray with God's people for our nation and for all the tough decisions that we need to make and all the difficult times we've been going through. Hey, we love you. We care about you. We want to do anything we can to help you in your walk with Jesus Christ. God bless. Have a great day.